Now, we'll see what the results are tomorrow as well. But one big theme has been improving employment, rural distress, etc. Fair to assume that those are going to be big themes in the next 5 years, and then some of the sectors, Andrew, that you were also talking about beyond premiumization. If I'm talking about FMCG, consumption, everything that has been lagging also comes back into play?
Does it?
I'm not sure it does. You know, the monsoons hopefully will be in line with what everyone's expecting, so the rural economy, there'll be a push. There might be some land reforms, there might be something towards electricity again, which will, you know, change the kind of landscape there for, you know, making things a lot easier. But these are the big things that you can do. In terms of taxation, you can look at capital gains tax, you can look at many different things. But I think at the end of the day, the market will like only two things. One, the continuity of policy. I mean, there might be some new policies that come through, but that's what the market's after. And you know, we've all kind of forgetting that we get the JP Morgan bond index inclusion this month, which will bring down bond yields. And I keep reiterating banks because, you know, it's the only play in town.
Top three.
The Bank Nifty,
So if India's inclusion in the JP Morgan index happens, we do get upgraded by the S&P in the foreseeable future. Raising debt for India Inc. becomes very attractive, and hence Indian equities also start looking good. But if I compare corporate debt to FDs, how does that look to you? Do you think that is something that may draw attention? Because the regulator has reduced the face value. There is genuinely a push to encourage a little bit of corporate debt amongst retail investors.
Yes, but the normal Indian psyche is, you know, maybe it will take a...
bank safer.
Bank safer, yes. So as of now, people are more attuned towards that thought process. But taking a step back to the previous point which you raised, I think there is a misconception that the Prime Minister is more capitalist. I think if you look at his welfare schemes, it has been very pro-poor, very pro-rural. So I think that will be the primary focus going forward.
And rural is not growing. I mean, look at the GDP reading this time. Rural is still a sour point for the country.
So I think...
the K-shaped kind of economy.
It's still, it still seems like... And you can't have GDP growth without consumption and employment. But, you know, you, Andrew, are very excited about the debt markets. We hear all sorts of numbers, 6.5, 6.6, up until March 25. Better than expected GDP reading. You've got the RBI policy meet in a few days, inclusion of Indian JPM, post that you'll of course have the Bloomberg index. And as compared relative to other debt to our global peers, we are far better placed. What do you think the RBI could do on the 7th of June? Will they remain hawkish? Is this even going to be an event or largely a non-event?
It's probably going to be an event which we're going to quickly kind of move on from, because I don't think it's going to reduce interest rates.
They can't, till the Fed does.
Obviously they can't be too negative on the economy because of the figures that are coming through. I think they'll talk about the bond markets. And I think they'll talk about, you know, what they might do with this money coming in. That might be, you know, something which will give us an idea about the rupee going forward. Maybe that's the focus of this policy rather than interest rates. But interestingly, some of the Federal Reserve people have said, you know, if Europe and anywhere else want to go before us, in terms of reducing interest rates, they should. So I think India still has that scope to go before the Federal Reserve if they want to.
ECB is going to do that.
But that has never historically happened, Neeraj. It disturbed the rate differential, right? And that's not what you want eventually.
But you're getting flows into your bonds anyway, so that's going to come through. So I'm not sure. You've got the leeway.
I think that's when we'll truly create history.
You got the leeway. But you know, you're right. Perhaps you'll just wait for you know.
And the Fed's not moving from the way it looks.